This is the DJI Osmo 6 gimbal. It's the newest gimbal in their line. I've had several of these now, and this one far exceeds what the others would do, along with what the app will do now. So let's take a look at its features and determine whether or not this is going to be a good purchase for you. I've been using DJI gimbals for a while now, and I started out with the 3 model here, and then I purchased the Osmo 5, which had an extendable arm and the clamp, and now I have the 6 here, which has been a very good tool. I think it looks really good and it's very functional. So let's look at how they differ in terms of extension. So looking at the things that are new on the Osmo 6, the extension arm is a little bit taller than the 5. The 5 was the first of this line to have an extension arm. With the 6, they've extended it a little bit further, so you gain a couple more inches, and I think it's really useful. I like the extension arm a lot. I find it helpful. So I could do some video about the phone making everything smoother, but with our modern phones, most of them have image stabilization already. What this does do, it keeps your phone level though. So I really wondered how I would like the difference in the zoom, because all of the DJI devices so far have had this button on the side, which is up and down to zoom. And if you click it too fast, it will pop, and it will go back to a setting or up to a setting. And so if you're zooming at something going on, the new one has the wheel on the side, and that's what I wasn't sure if I would like or get used to. Get in focus here, but the wheel is actually much more precise, and I've found it to be very helpful, and I like it. I think it's easier to use, it's very intuitive. And sometimes it's the little things. So the battery light indicator now on the face here, and I couldn't really get it to focus. This is huge. It just shows you how much battery you have instead of just an indicator. Of course, it's still on the screen like this. The app has several different settings you can use to video. What I think DJI really caters to is people who aren't going to do a lot of their own video editing. And so they've really tried to build in some automatic editing functions and things that you can use the camera, the gimbal, and the app to make videos. And so mostly I just use it on video function. But there are other things you see here that you can do with it that will create some neat videos, time lapses, hyperlapses, slow motion, things that you can probably do with other apps. But when you're using the gimbal, you pretty much have to use the app for it to work fully and correctly. So here you're looking at a screen recording of my daughter's soccer practice, and the reason that I really got into videoing is soccer to start with. And here I'm trying to set the follow function on her, but in the group it keeps losing her. It picks up other players or it has moved to her coach. And so the follow function, I think it works really well for one person or a closer shot, but it's not quite ready to do something like a sports field where there are multiple players out there and lots of things going on, it seems. Tracking using the rear camera like this is set up by touching the screen. You basically draw a little, you pull a little triangle. You can see my green triangle here. It actually worked better here where I grouped it around the entire team, and it really seemed to keep up with them. So I had the gimbal attached, and it moved fairly automatically, keeping up with the group, keeping them in the center of the screen. So this is a promising feature, but I don't know if it's really going to be helpful as a whole for videoing sport. There are functions now you can use on your watch. Mine's an Apple Watch 5. It doesn't do a lot, but you can do a few adjustments with it. So you really want to know, is the DJI Osmo 6 a good gimbal? So of the 4 that I've owned and toyed with, this is easily the best, yes. So I know that some of the pros out there that use a lot of these devices, they don't like it because it doesn't, well, one, it doesn't do a 360. It's not quite as adjustable, and its automatic arm and motor you can't do a lot of fiddling with. But for the everyday user like me, I think it's great. In terms of size, the 5 and the 6 are very, very similar. You see the difference in the buttons on the side, and then everything else is pretty much in the same place. The one difference you get is the look of the 8, and the mode button is no longer on the side, but has moved to the front. Otherwise, the buttons still function pretty much the same. Both still have the trigger in the same place as most gimbals do, but the trigger with each gimbal will have a slightly different function. But the trigger sometimes will hold it in place, or a double click will do something different. So you have to learn that for each gimbal that you use. Hey, thanks for watching this video about gimbals and the new gimbal, and I hope it's been helpful. I hope that you will check it out. I've got some other videos about gimbals that I've used, and if any of those are helpful, let me know. Thanks.